The M palm mark, a chilling symbol Nostradamus warned us about. Nostradamus, the mysterious prophet of the 1500s, warned us about a strange symbol, an M, that appears on the palm of certain people. More than just a line, this mark is said to hold powerful meaning, intuition, destiny, and a hidden spiritual calling. In today's world, where many are searching for direction, could your own hand be holding a forgotten message? In this episode of The Journey of Wisdom, we'll explore what the M palm mark really means, its link to the number 13, solar eclipses, and why some believe it's a gifter, a warning. If you're curious about your path, hit like, subscribe, and drop a 1 in the comments. Still unsure? Comment 2, and let's see if your perspective shifts by the end. Number 1. Spiritual meaning of the M mark. Across the world's cultures and spiritual traditions, the human hand has long been seen as a map of inner destiny, a reflection not just of who we are, but who we are becoming. One of the most fascinating symbols in palmistry is the mysterious M marker formation, where the heart line, head line, and life or fate line intersect to create the shape of the letter M. More than just a curious crease, this mark carries deep spiritual meaning, symbolizing intuitive strength, emotional depth, and an inherent sense of responsibility toward higher truths. People who bear this mark are often described as old souls, naturally tuned into the emotional undercurrents of life, with an uncanny ability to sense truth beyond appearances. In Buddhist terms, this resonates with the concept of prajna, or wisdom, the insight that arises not just from study or logic, but from a heart deeply attuned to life's impermanence and interconnectedness. As the Dalai Lama reminds us, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. Those with the M mark often embody this sacred gift of intuition, navigating the world not with cold calculation, but with a deep inner compass rooted in empathy, compassion, and subtle perception. In a modern society that prizes productivity over presence and logic over feeling, this kind of emotional intelligence is not just rare, it's deeply needed. These individuals are often drawn toward vocations where guidance, healing, and communication play central roles: teachers, counselors, spiritual leaders, and creatives who seem to speak directly to the soul. Their strength lies in their ability to connect not just through words, but through energy, presence, and care. In Buddhist teachings, this kind of presence is referred to as karuna, or compassion, the ability to feel another's suffering and respond with wisdom. When cultivated properly, this can be a great force for healing not just personal relationships, but communities and even society at large. The M formation is also associated with the element of water, a symbol rich in spiritual meaning across traditions. Water is fluid, responsive, reflective, just like the emotions and instincts that often guide those marked by this sign. In Buddhism, water symbolizes purity and adaptability. It takes the shape of whatever vessel it's in, yet never loses its essence. Similarly, people with this mark often find themselves moving through life's challenges not by force, but by flow. They may not always have a fixed plan, but they trust something deeper, a kind of inner knowing, often mistaken for luck, but rooted in lived wisdom. As Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh said, "Feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breathing is my anchor." This is the kind of calm centeredness that those with the M mark must cultivate if they are to fulfill the responsibilities that come with their gift. But it is important to note that having this mark is not a guarantee of enlightenment or spiritual superiority. Like a seed, it holds potential, and like any potential, it must be nurtured with discipline, humility, and awareness. Just as a skilled gardener tends to soil, sun, and water, we too must nourish our inner life with mindful actions and ethical living. Buddha once said, "To understand everything is to forgive everything." This kind of understanding doesn't come from books or logic alone. It blossoms from living a life of presence, reflection, and service. For those who recognize the M on their palms, it may be a quiet invitation, a call to live more deeply, listen more carefully, and act more compassionately. In modern life, where so much noise competes for our attention, from screens to schedules to the subtle pressure to always do more, the M mark can serve as a reminder that true wisdom arises from stillness, not speed. It encourages us to slow down and trust our inner voice, to honor our emotional currents, and to seek paths that align with our highest values. Whether you are navigating a career change, dealing with family struggles, or simply longing for more meaning, this symbol urges you to move with grace rather than force. As you do, you may find that the answers you seek are already within, waiting to be heard through the gentle stirrings of your heart. As the Buddha said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." Ultimately, the spiritual meaning of the M mark is not about prediction, but invitation, not about fate carved in stone, but about possibility etched in skin. It speaks to our potential to be wise, compassionate, and intuitively aligned with the flow of life. And perhaps most importantly, it reminds us that spirituality is not about escaping the world, but about engaging with it fully, with kindness and clarity. So, if you've discovered. Number 2. Talents and roles. Let's talk about something that may be quietly hidden in plain sight right in the palm of your hand. If you've ever looked at your palm and noticed the lines form a clear letter M, you're not alone. Many people believe this marking is more than just a coincidence. In fact, some traditions, including ancient palmistry, associate it with deep talents and significant life roles. Nostradamus, the famous seer, is said to have hinted at markings of power and destiny symbols that signal a person's role in shaping or healing the world. The M mark is believed to be one of those symbols, representing a person who carries special gifts within them. And while science may look at palm lines differently, there's something timeless about how people across cultures have seen meaning in our very hands. So, what does it mean if you're someone you know has this mark? People who have the M on their palm are often described as imaginative, intuitive, and creative at heart. You might find yourself naturally drawn to paths where you can express what you feel or help others express what they can't. This could lead you toward careers or callings like art, music, writing, psychology, teaching, or even spiritual leadership. But it's not just about jobs, it's about energy. You may carry a certain emotional intelligence, the kind that senses what's going on beneath the surface, even when people don't say it out loud. Have you ever just felt that someone needed help, or instinctively known when something wasn't quite right? That gift is not something everyone has. It's part of the depth people with the M mark are believed to carry. This ability to read between the lines of human emotion or to notice the truth behind a smile often makes you a natural mentor or healer, someone who people feel safe opening up to. You might not always realize the effect you have on others, but chances are people are drawn to your presence because you radiate understanding and care. That's a quiet kind of power, not one that shouts, but one that listens deeply. And in a world that often rushes, people like you help others slow down, reflect, and grow. But here's something important to remember. Having this sign on your palm doesn't mean you're better than anyone else. Rather, it's a reminder of your potential and responsibility. Just like the lotus grows from the mud to bloom above the water, your talents are meant to rise from life's challenges and be shared. Are you using your gifts to serve, to heal, or to create? Have you stepped fully into your role here? Are you still hiding from your light? These are questions worth reflecting on, because the M isn't a promise, it's a path, and walking that path takes courage, compassion, and clarity. Life will always present moments where you're called to make a difference, whether in a big way or small. It might be in a classroom, in a piece of art, in a quiet conversation that helps someone through the darkness. It might be in your role as a parent, a friend, or a guide. The beauty is that no act of healing or creativity is ever wasted. So, if you have the M mark, see it as a call to step into your role with mindfulness and love. If you don't have it, no worries. These qualities are not limited to palm lines. They're cultivated through your actions, your choices, and how you show up for others. The palm may offer a symbol, but your life is the real message. In the end, the lesson is simple. True power lies not in signs or predictions, but in how we use what we've been given. Whether or not you carry this mark, the question remains, what are you doing with your unique abilities? Are you using your presence to heal, uplift, or inspire? Are you walking your path with purpose? Let this be your takeaway. Your talents are sacred, your presence matters, and your role, whatever form it takes, is needed in this world, now more than ever. Number 3. The number 13 connection. One interesting aspect of Nostradamus's predictions is the connection between the letter M and the number 13. In Western culture, the number 13 is often feared, seen as a sign of bad luck or misfortune. Hotels skip the 13th floor, and people hesitate to make big decisions on Friday the 13th. But esoteric traditions, including ancient spiritual teachings and even certain interpretations of Buddhist thought, teach us to look deeper. The number 13 is not about fear. It's about transformation. It signals the end of one cycle and the beginning of another, the death of old ways and the birth of something new. So, if you have the letter M on your palm, consider it a quiet call from the universal invitation to awaken. Nostradamus, the famed 16th century prophet whose cryptic verses continue to stir curiosity and debate, saw the number 13 not as a curse, but as a portal to profound change. According to interpretations of his work, individuals bearing the letter M on their hands are connected to this powerful number, and their lives are marked by moments of upheaval that lead to deep inner growth. Think of it as a spiritual earthquake, shaking up the illusions we've clung to, clearing the way for truth. These people, he believed, carry within them a hidden destiny to help guide others through the darkness when the world feels like it's unraveling. In times of collective crisis or uncertainty, they rise, not as heroes in the conventional sense, but as beacons of clarity and calm. Does that resonate with you or someone you know? Have you ever felt an inner strength emerge precisely when things fall apart? The M mark, when seen through the lens of Buddhist wisdom, may also remind us of anicca, the truth of impermanence. Everything changes: pain, joy, relationships, even nations rise and fall. As the Buddha said, just as a candle cannot burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life. The cycles of transformation tied to the number 13 mirror this truth. If you're marked with the M, you're not just going through change, you are change. You embody the rhythm of the universe, the eternal dance of birth, death, and rebirth. Your journey may not be easy, but it is meaningful. And in that journey, you may find that your purpose isn't only personal, it's collective. You are called to help others see clearly when fear clouds their vision. But what does it truly mean to be someone destined to lead others through chaos? Could this mark be more than coincidence? Perhaps a sign you've been chosen to grow through struggle, to be a teacher by example, a light in times of darkness. These are deep questions worth reflecting on. Buddhism often teaches that the answers are not out there, but already within you, waiting for silence and mindfulness to awaken them. As the Zen proverb goes, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Maybe the M on your palm is your teacher, quietly waiting for you to notice. So, the next time you look at your hand, don't just see skin and lines, see a map, a message, a mirror of who you are becoming. And ask yourself, what am I here to transform, and how might I help others do the same? What do you feel when you look at your palm now? Do you sense a story waiting to unfold? If you've watched up to this point, you're already diving deep into the mysteries that connect ancient prophecy with the mark on your palm. Comment below with "marked by mystery" if you're ready to unlock the truth behind this chilling symbol Nostradamus may have warned us about. Don't click away, there's still more to uncover that could shift how you see your destiny. Stay with us until the end to explore the full meaning behind the M palm mark. Number 4. Solar eclipses and activation. Throughout history, solar eclipses have stirred awe and wonder in human hearts, not only for their dramatic beauty, but for the deep symbolism they carry across cultures. These rare cosmic alignments, where the moon briefly conceals the sun's brilliance, represent more than just a spectacle in the sky. They mark profound shifts, the kind that shake the soul and awaken sleeping truths within us. Nostradamus, the famed seer of the 16th century, saw solar eclipses not merely as astronomical events, but as spiritual gateways, times when the veil between the earthly realm and the unseen world is at its thinnest. For those who carry the mysterious M mark on their palms, a trait that many have discovered with quiet curiosity, these eclipses are even more significant. Nostradamus believed they serve as cosmic activators, stirring the spiritual energies encoded within these individuals and calling them to step closer to their hidden purpose. The M palm mark, often found at the intersection of major lines such as the head, heart, and lifelines, has long been whispered about in mystical traditions. It's not just a random crescite seen by some as a signal of destiny, of deep intuition, and of a potential spiritual path that, once activated, can lead to remarkable clarity and service to others. During solar eclipses, this mark is said to receive a surge of energetic awakening. People who bear it might feel a sudden clarity about their life direction or an intuitive pull towards something greater. These moments can be subtle, like a persistent feeling of needing to change course, or powerful, like receiving a dream or insight that shifts everything. In modern life, where we often silence our inner voice beneath noise, screens, and obligations, the energy of an eclipse can cut through that clutter and reawaken what has long been asleep. For those aged 30 to 65 who have walked through life's early challenges and are now searching for deeper meaning, the timing of these cosmic events can be especially potent. Many in this age group find themselves at a crossroads: children growing up, careers evolving, health and values shifting. It's a period when the question, "What am I really here for?" becomes more urgent. If you carry the M mark, the answers may begin to surface during a solar eclipse. Nostradamus believed that these events act like a tuning fork for the soul, amplifying the frequency at which higher guidance can be received. This isn't just about fortune telling, it's about recognizing the moments when life itself is speaking to you, urging you to wake up to your deeper calling. Whether it's through an encounter that seems too meaningful to be a coincidence, a sudden emotional release, or a longing to reconnect with your roots or spiritual practices, these signs are worth noticing. However, not all that is revealed during an eclipse is comforting. Nostradamus also warned that the intensified energies can surface unresolved pain, forcing those with the M mark to confront inner shadows they've long ignored. This may come as mood swings, sleepless nights, or a feeling of being lost even when life on the outside appears stable. These challenges are not punishments but invitations to go inward, to examine what's no longer serving you, and to release it. In the Buddhist tradition, this purification of the mind and heart is essential. Suffering, while painful, is often the soil from which compassion and wisdom grow. If you find yourself facing emotional storms during or after an eclipse, know that you are not broken, you are being reshaped. For those navigating this, grounding practices are essential. Spend time in silence, in nature, or in journaling. Be gentle with yourself and avoid the temptation to rush into decisions just because you're feeling stirred. Spiritual awakening isn't a sprint, it's a return, a remembering. And sometimes what's most needed is simply to rest in awareness and let the answers unfold slowly. Reaching out to others who walk a similar path can also help. Whether it's through community, meditation groups, or simply a heartfelt conversation with someone who understands, connection eases the intensity of transformation. Ultimately, solar eclipses, especially for those marked with the mysterious M, serve as turning points, reminders that we are more than flesh and thought, more than what we do for a living or what others see. There is a deeper rhythm to life, a current beneath the current, and during these rare alignments, that current rises to the surface. Whether you see it as prophecy, energy, or psychological metaphor, the invitation is the same. Pay attention. Something sacred may be stirring in you. And as you walk this path, sometimes through confusion, sometimes through clarity, remember that every step, even the painful ones, is leading you closer to your truth. Have you ever noticed anything different about how you feel or think during solar eclipse? Number 5. Connection to ancient wisdom. Let's talk about something fascinating and mysterious, what some people call the M mark on the palm. If you've ever looked at your hands and noticed a clear M shape formed by the lines in your palm, you're not alone and you're not imagining things either. This unique mark has drawn attention across cultures and centuries, especially from thinkers, mystics, and even prophets like Nostradamus. In fact, Nostradamus himself believed that individuals bearing the M mark were special, connected to ancient wisdom and destined to help humanity in profound ways. He compared these individuals to the Oracle of Delphi, those ancient Greek priestesses who sat at the center of spiritual life and were believed to speak directly with the gods. Now, that's not just poetic or symbolistic, it's a powerful comparison that hints at the deep intuition and insight these people may carry. So, if you're one of them, what does that mean for you? People with the M mark are believed to have the ability to see beyond the surface. They may not always realize it, but they often sense things that others miss. They can pick up on energy, emotion, and unspoken truths, almost as if they were reading between the lines of reality itself. Their minds and hearts are naturally tuned to hidden meanings and symbolic messages, much like the oracles who interpreted dreams and signs in ancient temples. But it's not about magic, it's about awareness. It's about being more awake, more in touch, more compassionate, and more connected to the deeper rhythms of life. Some say this gift gives them the ability to offer spiritual guidance in a preachy way, but simply by being present, wise, and kind in the lives of others. Think about the people you turn to when life feels uncertain. Are they good listeners? Do they speak calmly from a place of quiet strength? That's often what M mark individuals bring into the world. Their presence often feels grounding. They may not speak often, but when they do, their words carry weight. This is because, at some level, they are carriers of ancient knowledge. This isn't about memorizing old texts or quoting philosophies. It's about living in tune with values that have stood the test of time: honesty, empathy, balance, and awareness. They feel drawn to helping others not out of obligation, but because their inner compass tells them it's the right thing to do. This gentle, unwavering drive is what makes them natural guides, especially in times of chaos or uncertainty. And in today's world, Where confusion and distraction are everywhere, people like this are more important than ever. They don't need titles or recognition, they lead quietly, by example. Now, you might be wondering, what if I don't have an M mark on my palm? That's a great question, and here's the truth. We all have the potential to live with this kind of wisdom. The M may be a symbol, but the qualities it represents, clarity, guidance, inner truth, are available to anyone willing to slow down, listen, and connect with their deeper self. So instead of asking only whether you have the mark, ask yourself, do I live like someone who carries light? Do I pay attention to what truly matters? Am I becoming someone others can count on for peace and clarity? When we approach life with these questions, we begin to awaken our own spiritual potential, regardless of the lines on our hands. The M might be a starting point for some, but the journey belongs to all of us. The ancient wisdom Nostradamus spoke of isn't locked away in temples or scroll-sit lives in compassion, in service, and in the courage to seek truth. That is the real message behind the symbol. So here are the key lessons to take away. First, symbols like the M are not about superstitions. They're invitations to look inward. Second, if you feel called to guide, help, or heal, trust that calling. It might just be your ancient wisdom rising. And third, never underestimate the power of quiet awareness. It might just be your greatest gift to the world. What kind of guidance can you offer the people around you today? Number 6. How to embrace the M energy. To embrace the power of the mysterious M energy, an ancient symbol believed by some to be linked with destiny, mastery, and even prophetic warning, we must begin by turning inward. In a world that constantly pulls us outward, asking for our attention, our opinions, our energy, it becomes easy to forget that the deepest answers are often found in silence. One of the most effective ways to begin this inner journey is through self-reflection. When we regularly take the time to journal not just about our daily lives, but about deeper themes like mastery, motivation, and manifestation, we start to uncover patterns in our behavior, our desires, and our dreams. Writing about these themes helps bring clarity to the chaos and offers a mirror to our inner world. Mastery, for instance, isn't about control or perfection. It's about deepening our understanding of who we are, honing our gifts with patience, and committing to personal growth without expecting instant results. Motivation, on the other hand, becomes less about ambition and more about meaningful direction when we approach it with awareness. And manifestation, often misunderstood as mere wish-making, becomes powerful when we align it with effort, service, and authenticity. But reflection alone is not enough. To truly access the potential that the M mark represents, whether you believe it's etched in your palm or written in your spirit, we must go beyond the thinking mind and connect with something deeper. This is where meditation becomes essential. In meditation, we learn to quiet the mental noise and listen not to the world, but to the silent guidance that already lives within us. Whether you sit in stillness for 5 minutes a day or use breathwork to calm your nervous system, meditation creates space for intuitive wisdom to rise. For many in midlife, who often carry decades of stress, expectation, and responsibility, meditation offers not an escape, but a return to a self that's often been buried under roles and routines. With regular practice, your inner world begins to open up, and talents that lay dormant, such as deep empathy, creative insight, or healing presence, start to stir awake. These are not coincidences. They are reminders that your life holds more depth than you may have allowed yourself to believe. As we cultivate this inner awareness, it becomes just as important to shape the outer environment that supports it. Symbols have power. They speak to the subconscious and help us stay aligned with our purpose. surrounding yourself with meaningful M symbols. Be they in the form of artwork, mantras, or objects that carry personal or spiritual significance, acts as a gentle reminder of your path. These symbols are not superstition. They are tools that keep your heart focused and your intentions clear. Equally powerful is the presence of others walking a similar path. Finding like-minded communities, people who value inner growth, who are also asking the deeper questions about life and purpose, creates a sense of belonging that nourishes the spirit. Whether through a local meditation group, an online spiritual forum, or simply gathering with friends who share your values, connection brings encouragement. It helps you remember that you are not alone in your seeking, and that the journey is not only yours to carry. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, trust your instincts. In our analytical world, intuition is often dismissed as irrational or unreliable. But the truth is, your instincts, when they come from a quiet, centered place, are often the most accurate compass you have. If you sense a shift coming, or feel drawn towards something new, don't ignore it. The M energy is deeply tied to transformation, and transformation often begins as a whisper, not a shout. Especially for those in their 30s through 60s, when many people begin to reevaluate their careers, relationships, or spiritual paths. Trusting those inner nudges can be the key to a more aligned and fulfilling life. You may not have all the answers, but your intuition will often tell you where to begin. Trusting it is not about abandoning logic. It's about honoring a deeper kind of knowing, one that doesn't come from books or experts, but from within your own being. In today's fast-paced, distracted world, reconnecting with meaning is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. The M energy, whether interpreted through palmistry, mysticism, or metaphor, invites you to slow down, tune in, and remember your deeper purpose. It reminds you that mastery is not just for the gifted, it's for the committed. That motivation doesn't always come from outside pressure, but from an inner calling. That manifestation isn't magic, it's alignment between vision and action. And that the path forward is often lit by the small, steady light of your own intuition. So whether the M mark is etched into your palm or simply alive in your consciousness, honor it. Let it guide you toward a more conscious, compassionate, and courageous way of living, because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs more people who are awake. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the mysterious M mark and the ancient wisdom it may hold. Whether it's a symbol of destiny, a spiritual nudge, or simply a reminder to trust your intuition, the real message is clear. The answers we seek often begin within. If this video sparked something in you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to The Journey of Wisdom. And be sure to turn on notifications so you won't miss our upcoming episodes as we continue to explore the hidden truths that connect us all. Until next time, walk gently, live mindfully, and trust the quiet signs along your path.